Hi friends, my name is Dale and I am a flight instructor. The onset of this channel was to hopefully help students with things to help them along with their licenses, but also anytime someone has a recommendation for a movie, I am here for them. So this one is a recommendation from Adam on a movie I made previously. This one is about chemtrails, and I hope that Adam enjoys this and many of you can find this useful, helpful, interesting. If you are someone who is a big proponent about stopping chemtrails or fighting what they are, hopefully this will help you sound smarter in your fight. I'm not telling you to not fight it, but I'm telling you that oftentimes people will send you up on the wrong tree, probably for their own benefit, to sell you a detox or a cure for something that is not the issue. So this will hopefully help you sound smarter and at least not projecting deceit or being deceitful yourself. So, continue your good fight and continue working for a healthy, clean planet and healthy, clean people. And I'm here for you. My experience is I've been a flight instructor for 10 years and an airline pilot for 10 years. I have not been a cloud seeder, but some coworkers of mine and some very close friends have been cloud seeders. So I reached out to them and worked with them for all this and developed a whole bunch of fun facts for you. Now, about their NDAs, yes, they did have extensive NDAs. But I've also signed NDAs in capitalist America for being a pizza cook, for teaching kids gymnastics, for delivering fitness equipment. And now my current boss has me sign an NDA saying I will not involve them on social media or anything online. So if you discover who my boss is, please keep them out of this, because this is not about them. This is about me. I do not reflect their opinions or perspectives. So all the things that my friends who are or have been cloud seeders have told me about is publicly available, and I cross-reference them, and you can do your own research and you can find this all out. Now, what do conspiracy theorists say chemtrails are? They say when you look up at the sky and you see the long lines of clouds coming out of planes that linger and don't blow away, those are chemicals that are being sprayed out to poison us, mind control us, make us sick, dependent on big pharma, this, that, or the other. What I'm here to tell you is that those clouds you see up high are clouds. It's the same thing that happens when you exhale in cold air or your car is warming up on a cold day. These jets have very hot engines that compress air a lot, and it's some very cold air, minus 60 degrees Celsius, and so that is perfect for making a cloud, which is what they are. Now, the beauty of the chemtrail conspiracy theory is that it has a bunch of facets of truth, and I'll try to get into those at the end and throughout this story. But the airliner's baseline would be the wrong tool for the job. If you want to poison people, which the US government has with Agent Orange, or trees, or mosquitoes, you do that with planes that are flying really low. You do not do that with an airliner flying up 6 miles high in the sky. There was a test done by the government to see if that could be something our enemies could do, and they released a bunch of yellow chemicals and tracked where the yellow chemicals landed, and they realized it is not a problem, it is not a threat, because it is so dispersed. And so, yes, there was a study, and yes, there was a test that was done, and they thought, oh, this isn't a problem, and they, case closed, moved on. Also, people like to point to the study where they did a grid of contrails, and they were trying to do that to see if they can reflect radio beams for communication and also radar over the curve of the horizon, because the Earth is actually curved. and they wanted to see beyond that to have an extended range. And they saw, oh, that doesn't work, and case closed, they gave up on it. So yes, there were scientific studies that were done, and also the CIA was concerned that Russia was doing weather modification and we had to beat them at agriculture, so we studied weather modification, which goes hand in hand with cloud seeding. So what actually is cloud seeding? People will take small or medium-sized light twin engines like a King Air or a Seneca, and they will put flares that look like Roman candles on the trailing edges of the wings, and they're packed with different things, typically silver iodide, because that is a neutral salt. It will not salinify the water. It will not make the water salty. It won't change the pH balance, and it's also six-sided. Don't worry, numerologists, it's not from the devil. And it will, when released into a cloud, it will smash into water droplets that are very cold and make snowflakes, and then it'll snow. And there have been studies done to this, and the most effective study, or the best study, was done in 2018, showing that you can get about 13 to 20% more waterfall with cloud seeding than without. So whenever there is a super cold cloud, they'll send up a King Air or a Seneca with these flares on it, fly them around in circles, blast these off in the cold areas that are extra wet, and then create clouds. They've also done this for fog mitigation. So if a runway is foggy, particularly in, I believe, Medford, they've done it with the Cessna, and then later with a balloon towed by a truck with dry ice, because the dry ice will, reduce the fog. This was actually discovered with a block of dry ice and the sublimate coming off of it. And you can try this at home, run your hand through the sublimate, and it turns that into little snowflakes and clears out the fog. So that's where it is. A wonderful thing for research is to follow the money. So look at these actual cloud seeding companies that have weather modification in their name and find out what they're spending their money on. It's sodium iodide and acetate and dry ice, but I said sodium iodide, I mean silver iodide. Primarily they're paying it for silver iodide, which is expensive, but worth it for their customers. You can also follow their money and see who their customers are. It's hydroelectric companies that have a dam that they want to get filled with water. It is farmers who want water for their irrigation, and insurance companies who don't want to pay for hail from thunderstorms. So it makes financial sense for those companies in particular. Fun fact, if you want to put your money where your mouth is, you can hire a cloud seeding company to seed cloud for you. Just call them up and put your money on the line, and they'll send up their planes and seed away. You can even choose what exactly they seed it with. So if you decide you want to put in barium and aluminum, then I guess give it your best shot. But so far they don't do that. That's a thing for conspiracy theories. Because why would they? There's no use for barium or aluminum to be applied into the atmosphere that I know of, that I could think of. Now, if you want to poison people, if you want to poison things on the ground, that's where airplanes still can be used, but now we're talking crop dusters. That's why crop dusters fly barely over the ground. That's why mosquito mitigators fly barely over the ground. So you don't accuse me of being of special interest. These planes burn leaded fuel, so if you're concerned about heavy metals in the atmosphere, this exhaust will put out heavy metals, but it's lead, it's not barium or aluminum. So I'm not here to sell a fake detox for a fake condition. Please be very wary of anyone selling you cures for their made-up ailments. They're scammers. I'm not here to make money. YouTube is not paying me. If they do, the plan is to send that money to scholarships for students to learn how to fly. So no one is sponsoring this. Also, I've heard about, what about the whistleblower from the Air Force? yes, there was a whistleblower from the Air Force, and what that smacked of was she was in the need to know industry. She did not need to know, and she was pushing to know. They say like, hey, you don't need to know, and she got upset and quit. And then they told her, you need to stop talking about this, because she was in the need to know, and she didn't know what they were getting that for, and maybe it was raw materials to build planes, or who knows, chaff, could be chaff. But one thing of amusement is ICAO is actually researching chemtrails and how it modifies weather, not because of barium or aluminum, but because it's clouds, and just as a coincidental, accidental byproduct of flying. So they are trying to find out if airliners can fly outside of the areas that create contrails, because that can contribute up to 3% of cloud cover, making clouds where they're not intended to be. So during the day, that'll cool off the air. However, most flights are created at night, or performed at night. So most clouds are created at night, which creates an insulating layer to keep the air from, or the heat from, evacuating out into space, which is also real. So that is contributing to global warming, and so they are looking to eliminate that. What my personal interest would be is push to stop having red-eye flights or overnight deliveries on things, because like, oh, they're miserable to work. So please do me a favor, call up your center, say stop making poor Dale work red-eyes because of global warming, only fly during Baker hours. So anyway, if you have any further questions, please reach out to me. Please investigate and search from credible sources, not just a shirtless stone guy thinks he found something profound online and made a TikTok about it, and then, oh, by the way, buy my cure. Don't listen to those scammers, but like, research this. This is a very fascinating topic to cover, and wish you guys well. If you have any other questions, if you have any other suggestions for videos, please let me know, and I am happy to address any of this. Otherwise, fly safe, have fun.